Check. Check. Okay. You could even put that. Do we need this?
No.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for coming. And it is, we are, as you know, we are in a recovery mode, and we wanted to give you some updates how Fort Bend County is responding during this absolutely tiring and challenging times. Center point outage numbers, and obviously we started with 353,292, but today the latest numbers we got is 135,825 people, families are still don't have power. And also we know that the cell phone services, AT&T, Verizon, so on and so forth, still have trouble because of the power issue. And as soon as the power get restored, the data will be restored. That's what we have been told. A debris management pickup and all, it is finalized to be contracted to a contractor, and Road and Bridges is leading that effort. And as early as early next week, the debris pickup will start, and be patient with us. We are coming to you and picking it up, all that information, and more details are available on our OEM website, fbcoem.org, because how to assemble them, where to keep it, and all that information. Fort Bend County is currently have two major shelters. One is Fairground, the other one is Attack Poverty shelters. 156 individuals at the Fairground shelter, and 35 as we speak right now at Attack Poverty shelter. But these numbers are always changing. Some people go home, more people coming, and all that. And also we have a numerous cooling centers. We opened it up, and so we know that it's 95-degree weather out there, and it is hot, and many people in our community don't have power. Cooling centers, Fairground, Attack Poverty in Rosenberg, Creekside Fellowship in Needville, River Point Church in Richmond, Fresno Fire Station, ESD 7, Fort Bend County libraries. Many libraries are open as cooling centers. And so now we are fortunate to have coach buses. How many? 4 of them? 4 coach buses. We have a schooling, mobile cooling centers, and also we are using these buses for transportation purposes also, which is stationed in Katy, Kendallton, Missouri City, and Stafford. The information is available via our social media pages. County facilities, and we are still struggling to restore power and data for the county facilities. The last update we have is more than 16 of critical buildings are still without power or data. And so that is actually creating a lot of problem in opening the county back to normal business and going back to normal business hours, and so all that, so on and so forth. So we are on a regular basis assessing, and we have inspectors out there looking at every buildings and conditions, and we are getting reports, and hopefully we will see a better number tomorrow. As of now, we are still look like county is still not ready to open back to business. That's what it looked like. And so EOC is, activation is maintained at level 2, and you all know that we actually are under declared disaster. The county is in alignment with the state, and so we have commuter services are in full swing, and whatever we have available, it is out there to help people. And especially we will talk about, I will ask Greg to talk about the EMS services, demand medical appointments, on things of that nature. We are providing transportation, disaster relief services for sheltered individuals and pets and all that stuff. we are making sure they will get services to go to the shelters, and if they wanted to go back home or other places, we are providing that. Talking about water, and we heard some conversation about, some areas of water have low pressure, and also water issues. What I've been told, obviously Greg, you can expand on that, but I've been told all this water plants and all that operating, many of them are operating on power generators, so it is actually not reliable as a regular power supply. So that's why we are seeing that, and we don't have any at the moment, as far as I know, there is no major water issues throughout the county. And then we are also bringing and accumulating pallets of water so that we could distribute to our residents who are in need. I believe we have received 17 pallets of water for shelters and cooling centers, and we are expecting another 27 pallets soon, and that maybe we will open it up tomorrow, make it available using pad sites. And so we have any kind of non-emergency, and I know that many people don't have power and you're frustrated about it, and maybe you see your neighbor got power, you don't have it. I know that it is so frustrating. Please understand, Centerpoint is working so diligently, making sure the fastest they can turn on your power for you, but they are working, and we have more than the numbers I got is more than 750 of their members are working throughout Fort Bend County, and hundreds of trucks in Fort Bend County they are working. But as you heard, from 300,000+ to now we are at 135,000. I still know that it is a large number of people without power. But non-emergency calls you can call at 281-341-4665. I will repeat, 281-341-4665 if any kind of non-emergency. And as I mentioned, we haven't made a decision yet, but county services, we will announce it later today. Most likely, it looked like, because the buildings are not up, is going to be, most likely it's going to be closed, but wait for our announcement. So, and I just want our residents and others, please follow us on social media, please follow us on other means, our website, and also we have FM radio, because especially many people don't have power, don't have internet connection and all that. So somehow if you can follow us, we are putting out a lot of information to benefit how we are, how you can manage your situation, and if you wanted to get into a cooling center, or if you wanted to get some other support, and so please let us know. So at this time, once again, I understand it is hard. I understand. We all understand it is hard. It is frustrating. Please stay safe as much as you can, and support one another. Check on your neighbor and see how they are doing. And some people cannot take too much heat, and so this is a good time to be a good neighbor. So thank you for your cooperation in this trying time in Fort Bend County. But I promise to you, we have some of the finest people working in every department in Fort Bend County. Some of the partners, finest people, they are getting job done. But this big issue, it takes a little bit of time to address it. At this time, I will ask our OEM manager, Greg Babs, to come and give a little more specific details about what is going on in Fort Bend County. Greg?
Thank you, Judge. Good evening, everybody. Thank you for coming out and attending this press conference, and then getting this message out to our citizens of Fort Bend County. Very important as we move forward. Again, Judge mentioned heat's the condition and power's the problem. So we've got to make sure that we are taking care of that. We've got a center point rep inside the EOC, and we are following as those center point responders are throughout the county bringing power back up, and then we are supplying that to the judge. And then we're looking also at critical infrastructure throughout the county, ensuring that those are priorities, bringing those critical infrastructures up, and then also to include vulnerable populations. Our HHS staff, along with the EMS staff, is working hard inside the EOC to reach out to those vulnerable populations, those elderly communities, and if they need that medical support system and needs power, we're putting them on priority list and we're getting them up as fast as we can. Operations section is also helping out with that quite a bit and ensuring that we're sending also a sheriff's officer or a law enforcement agency out there to do checks along with EMS. EMS has also done a phenomenal job, not only responding every single day, over 250 calls every single day since the storm. Just outstanding. They've also requested a strike team, which is a state team that's come in to help support, so that's emphasized the amount of response that we are able to do for our citizens. And then they've gone outside the box, and those non-critical but still an emergency type situations, they're sending these lieutenants out to go ahead and verify these risky conditions that the citizens that are having, and then they're providing them the source of information, allowing for that EMS box to go out to those 911 calls. So counterbalance, doing amazing things in Fort Bend County and helping all citizens and allowing us to meet that demand of over 250 calls a day. So excellent job. They're also have set up O2 distribution and filling sites at our fairgrounds. So again, if you need to fill your oxygen and you need that oxygen, you're able to come down to the fairgrounds and redistribute your bottles, and they can fill your bottles up to keep it going while our power's out. With that, again, that next problem that we've got facing again is shelters. Like the judge mentioned, we've got 2 shelters up currently where, again, meeting that demand. I want to say right now, Fort Bend County is running the shelter at the fairgrounds underneath HHS's direction. We've also got the Texas State Guard there to help us out and plus up personnel down there, and the facility is now extended from one building at the fairgrounds into a second building, and we will continue that and continue supporting those shelter operations at the Fort Bend County shelter. We've also plussed up, like the judge said, at Attack Poverty, Friends of North Rosenberg, our partner. We're so thankful that they've opened their doors and allowed us to bring Red Cross in. So now we've got a Red Cross shelter also stood up in the county, and Red Cross is supporting that shelter as we move through this event. Cooling centers, Judge mentioned a plethora of cooling centers. We will keep those going while this heat's out there. Please, if you're having those issues where you need to cool off, use the cooling centers. We haven't met capacity at any of the cooling centers currently, which is a good thing. Again, if we start to see quite an influx of people during those cooling center times, we do have the capability to expand. We have more facilities available throughout the county. And again, want to thank those state partners that allowed those buses, those coach buses to come in, and we can transport them around the county as needs happen. And power comes up, we can move those from one location to another that doesn't have power. So we want to thank the state for doing that. And a large amount of the county still, like the judge said, is on generator power when it comes to these water distribution plants or sewage distribution plants. That is key. What I want everybody to do in these next times is, again, know what your utility district is. Again, if one of these systems fail or a generator fails and they lose pressure out there, you're going to get a boil water notice, and you need to know what your MUD is or what your utility district is, because those will come out in a boil water notice for that MUD or for that utility district. So please know what your utility district is, be aware of those boil water notices, and follow us. We'll be posting any boil water notices that come out. Also follow your cities or your jurisdictions. They'll be putting that stuff out too. And TCEQ pushes everything out also for boil water notices. So please follow those sites, be aware, and be ready if those boil water notices go out. Last couple things. We're moving into, I know it doesn't feel like it, but we're going into an intermediate recovery stage right now. We still got some response going on, again, with vulnerable populations and the power issues and trying to get power up. but we're moving into that next phase, and what we do is we need your help. And how do you help us is fill out these surveys. We've posted out links to our surveys, an iStat survey. That iStat survey is a quick survey of your property that you had damage on. How does that help us and help you? As we collect that data, the state collects that data. Recovery teams are coming, and those recovery teams are then deployed from the Emergency Operations Center and from FEMA or the state. And then what we're going to do is we see where those collections are of all these surveys, and this is where we're going to send people out first. Once we get these assessments, right, and as this might possibly go into a federal declaration, Lieutenant Governor, Acting Governor, right now, submitted a federal declaration to FEMA, and we're waiting for that response back. And as soon as we get that response back that we're in a federal declaration, we'll post that out and let everybody know. And then that will be key, because FEMA is going to come in and then help that recovery state. Judge mentioned we are under a disaster declaration. The state's under a disaster declaration. So please fill out those iStats, those surveys for us, so we can move forward. And again, we're in that time where if you need assistance and it's not emergency assistance, please don't hold up the lines on 911. Don't call 911 unless it's an emergency. If it's not an emergency, you got a question, please use our non-emergency line, 281-342-6185. And follow us on social media. We're posting I think our public information officer is posting something about every 3 hours of notice of some sort of advisory. Also Health and Human Services, Fire Marshal's Office, EMS, all are posting stuff for you to be better prepared and to get a better understanding of what the situation is, and then how do you respond. I want to thank everybody. Please be patient with us. As we move into this debris collection, please follow us. Please follow the debris management plan. These debris management plans, as they're running through, I want to emphasize this. They'll pick up, and if you didn't get your stuff out there in time because you were inundated with stuff going on, know that they're going to come back. They're going to collect everything. So don't just think a sweep went through. You're not going to get stuff picked up. You will get stuff picked up, and then the real case is follow that debris management process that we put on our webpage, www.fbcoem.org. Please follow us, follow that guidance on there, because it's critical, because they will not pick stuff up. Do not leave your trash in the middle of debris. They can't pick it up, okay? So please follow that guidance. Thank you.
Yeah. At this time, I'm joined by numerous critical departments, and I will ask if anybody wanted to give any kind of update. Due to lack of time, I'm not going to call each and every one of them, but if you have any information you wanted to share with the people, you're welcome to do it. Anything at all? Doctor? Good. I just wanted to say thank you for all of you for doing a tremendous work during this hard time, and everybody is struggling. We are aware of it, and so you have some good people taking care of a lot of issues in Fort Bend County. At this time, we will conclude this presentation. If you have any question, we will answer that.
What are the statuses of your hospitals right now?
Hospitals, yes.
The hospitals in our county are, I'm not sure about St. Luke's, but all the other hospitals in Fort Bend County are back on the grid. They're functioning well. They're heavily inundated with a large number of people coming to the hospital for care, as happens with every natural disaster. But they're all functioning at a pretty good level here in Fort Bend County, and we've been in communication with them and helping offload the ERs from dialysis patients that just need to go to their dialysis center, or a dialysis center if theirs is without power, or folks who come to the ER looking for oxygen. That's why we push so hard to set up those processes we have, is because the ER does not have the capacity to do dialysis on everybody that needs it. And so we have processes in place, and the lieutenants you heard talk about are going out, and we're specifically taking people who need oxygen or need dialysis and getting the service to them, or them to the service that they need, and not going to the ER. So that when we do have that critical life-threatening emergency, the hospital has the capacity to take it in.
Are you all utilizing that emergency shelter at NRG?
So we've been meeting with our hospitals in Fort Bend County twice a day. That conference call is currently ongoing now. It opened up earlier today. We're not aware how many of our hospitals sent patients there, but we know there was a number of patients they were looking at doing that with, as well as Fort Bend County EMS has been looking, if we find patients that shouldn't be at home without electricity and air conditioning, but don't really have a medical problem to go to the ER, we've also been working to get those patients into the shelter. We haven't had that happen yet, but that shelter is a great benefit that the state opened up there in energy.
Any other questions? Assuming no other question, thank you for coming, and I appreciate each and every one of you, the job you're doing, because we are doing a lot of things. You're going and telling our story, and the people are paying attention. Thank you once again. This concludes the presentation. Thank you.
Thank you.